Why is milk packed in square cartons while Coke comes in round bottles? You've probably never given this question a second thought, but once you figure it out, you'll see through half the tricks of this world. In today's video, we'll use a few examples to wire your brain to think like an economist. Why is water, which saves lives, dirt cheap, but diamonds, which are just for show, insanely expensive? Why are buttons on women's clothes on the left and on men's on the right? Why do plane tickets cost a fortune if you buy them last minute, but are a steal when booked a month in advance? These questions seem unrelated, but they all boil down to the same fundamental logic. By the end of this video, your perspective will shift, because you'll realize nothing in this world happens by chance. Every phenomenon is a product of incentives. Let's circle back to the opening question. Why square for milk, round for Coke? First, let's debunk a wrong answer. It's not because square cartons save more material. In fact, a cylinder uses less material than a rectangular prism to hold the same volume. So why go square for milk? The answer lies in marginal cost. Milk needs refrigeration. It goes into supermarket freezers. Freezer space is scarce, and keeping them running costs a lot in electricity. Square cartons maximize freezer space, minimal gaps, more milk in the same freezer. Coke doesn't need cooling. It sits on regular shelves. Shelf space is cheaper. So, the small space savings from square packaging aren't worth sacrificing the perks of round bottles. What perks? Round bottles are more comfortable to hold. People drink Coke straight from the bottle. Grip matters. Milk? It's poured into a cup or bowl. How it feels in your hand barely matters. See? Even for liquid containers, the optimal design changes with cost structure and use case. That's lesson 1 in economics. Every choice is the best option under given constraints. It's not about what's better. It's about what's the best bang for your buck. This way of thinking explains countless things. Take the button thing, for example. Back when buttons were first invented, wealthy women had maids to help them get dressed. Maids would fasten buttons with their right hands while facing their mistresses, so the buttons had to be on the left side of the women's clothes. Men, though, dressed themselves, so buttons on the right made it easy to fasten with their right hands. Centuries later, the habit stuck. No one wants to foot the bill for changing the standard. Now, airline tickets. Why are last-minute tickets so expensive? Early buyers are usually vacationers. They're price-sensitive. Last-minute buyers are mostly business travelers. They care about time, not money. And movie theater popcorn, it's overpriced on purpose. Tickets are often a loss leader. Popcorn is where theaters make real money. If you're willing to buy expensive popcorn, you're willing to pay for the full experience. That's price discrimination. Not a scam, but a strategy to maximize profit and allocate goods based on willingness to pay. Now the bigger paradox. Why are essential things so cheap while useless things are insanely expensive? The paradox of value. Water and diamonds. Water is necessary for life. Diamonds are decorative. So why are diamonds worth thousands of times more? The answer, marginal utility. Utility is satisfaction. Marginal utility is the extra satisfaction from one more unit. Water has huge total utility, but it's abundant. After 8 glasses, the 9th glass adds almost nothing. Diamonds have low total utility, but they're scarce. You might buy one in your lifetime. That one feels extremely valuable. Price reflects marginal value, not total value. That's why A-list celebrities earn millions, not because they work harder, but because they're rare. Replace them and box office revenue drops massively. Why are programmers paid so much? Because their marginal output is enormous. One great programmer can serve 100 million users. Even a great construction worker can only lay so many bricks per day. Scarcity creates marginal utility. That's why limited editions cost a fortune. The most expensive things aren't the most useful. They're the hardest to get. Now another problem. The collective action problem. At a concert, the front row stands, so the people behind stand too. Soon, everyone is standing. No one sees better. Everyone is just more tired. Individually rational, collectively stupid. Parents sending kids to tutoring classes, not because they're amazing, but because everyone else is doing it. When all do it, rankings stay the same. Everyone spends more. Kids sleep less. Same with advertising. If you don't advertise, competitors steal your market share. If everyone advertises, market share stays the same. Only ad costs increase. Same with degrees. When everyone upgrades, no one gains an advantage. That's an arms race. Cold War nuclear weapons. No one dared stop first. How do we escape? Change the incentive structure. But often no one controls the rules, and we remain stuck. Now the final trap. There is no free lunch. Cost isn't just money. It's time, it's missed opportunities, it's privacy, it's future debt, hidden costs. Why are internet products free? Because you pay with data. Why are free trials generous? Because your attention is scarce. Why do free scams work? because the word free shuts down rational thinking. Free also distorts incentives. If bike sharing were free, bikes would be abandoned everywhere. When something is free, responsibility disappears. That's why free should trigger caution, not excitement. If something is free, you've either already paid or you will pay later. And usually you'll pay more. Nothing happens by accident. Milk is square because freezer space is expensive. Diamonds are costly because scarcity drives marginal value. Price differences exist because incentives shape behavior. Economics isn't about making money. It's about understanding why the world works the way it does. When you see incentives clearly, the world stops looking absurd. Instead of asking, is this fair? You ask, what incentives created this? And what incentives need to change? That is the real power of economics. In a foggy world, clarity is already an advantage. That's all for today. See you in the next video.